Hello, everyone. My name is Morgen Fraser, and today I will be presenting my poster, which I have titled Using jQuery to Simplify Code. We'll start with the introduction, move down to the methodology, then I will go over a short code demonstration, and finally wrap up with the conclusion and references. At any time, I may jump down to the definitions box to help explain some of the technical talk that goes into coding. With that out of the way, let us begin. jQuery is a JavaScript library. A library is a file that contains a lot of functions that can save you from rewriting a bunch of code. jQuery advertises itself through its tagline of write less, do more. Anything that can promise saving time catches my attention, and I wanted to see if they were telling the truth by testing jQuery for myself. When I started using jQuery, I noticed they decided to use CSS selectors over JavaScript selectors. CSS, or Cascading Style Sheet, is a language we use to change how the web page will be displayed. CSS can be used to change the font, the size and color of the font, and the background color, just to name a few simple things. A selector is how we select an element, the most common selectors being ID, tag name, and class. Elements are simple things, things like paragraphs, headers, and buttons. They have also decided to use CSS actions over JavaScript actions. An action is what the computer will listen for to perform a function. Some actions are click, change, focus, and key press. Functions work the same in both methods of coding, where we can name the function and call it later, or leave it unnamed and call it anonymously. A function is what will be performed when an action occurs on the selected element. A function can be as simple as adding two numbers, or as complex as you want it to be. To show my findings with you all, I have prepared a short code demo to show how different JavaScript and jQuery are. I have color-coded the similarities between the two codes. The function is colored blue, the selector is colored green, and the action is colored red. In this code demo, we want to call a function that we have named works when a button with the ID sample is clicked. To select an element by its ID, jQuery does this by using the pound or hashtag symbol, while JavaScript writes out getElement by ID. For the action of click, jQuery has us writing .click, while JavaScript writes out add event listener, open parentheses, open double quotes, click, close double quotes, comma. To call the function works, jQuery has us putting works inside of parentheses, and JavaScript has us writing works after the action. Both jQuery and JavaScript end their lines of code with a semicolon to signify that it is the end of that command. In the end, jQuery had us typing 24 characters, while JavaScript had us typing 67 characters. Both lines of code accomplish the exact same thing. I had recoded an assignment to test jQuery for myself, and I was able to confirm that their tagline holds true. While I had to write more lines of code to properly enable jQuery, I wrote less per line of code. I was also able to fix an error in the code, showing that jQuery enabled me to write less, do more. Here I have listed my references for learning about jQuery, which are W3 schools, and the jQuery website itself. If you want to learn more about jQuery, I encourage you to check out both of these sources as they are greatly helpful. Before I end the recording, I would like to say thank you for listening to my presentation of jQuery.